You should know I've chosen a career that you would approve of.
Is a crisis of...
We have to hold out the possibility.
Ad Astra takes audiences on an extraordinary journey through the stars, blending science fiction with deep emotional storytelling that explores the bond between father and son, human ambition, and the vast loneliness of space. It's not just a space adventure, it's an introspective odyssey that looks at the human soul when stripped of everything familiar. The movie follows astronaut Roy McBride, a man defined by his calm, disciplined demeanor and unwavering focus, as he embarks on a dangerous mission to uncover the truth behind his father's mysterious disappearance and a threat that could endanger life throughout the solar system. What begins as a rescue mission becomes a haunting voyage into the unknown, testing not only his physical endurance but also the core of his identity and purpose. At the heart of Ad Astra is Brad Pitt, delivering one of the most restrained yet emotionally powerful performances of his career. His portrayal of Roy is layered with subtlety. He's stoic on the surface, but beneath that calm lies a man haunted by abandonment, duty, and longing for connection. As the son of a legendary astronaut, Clifford McBride, Roy grew up in the shadow of a man obsessed with reaching the outer edges of the solar system. When Clifford vanished during a deep space mission decades earlier, he became both a myth and a wound in Roy's life. Now, years later, strange energy surges from Neptune threaten Earth, and Roy is sent to find the source believed to be his father's lost expedition. The supporting cast strengthens the emotional and narrative depth of the film. Tommy Lee Jones embodies the distant and determined Clifford McBride, a man consumed by his vision to find intelligent life beyond our solar system. His performance balances brilliance with madness, showing how obsession can turn even the noblest dream into isolation. Ruth Negga and Donald Sutherland add further emotional nuance, guiding Roy along parts of his journey and offering glimpses of humanity amid the cold mechanics of space travel. Each encounter Roy has on his journey reveals another side of him, his detachment, his fear, his suppressed emotions, and his gradual realization that he has become too much like his father in his quest for perfection and purpose. The plot unfolds with an elegance and slowness that mirrors the vastness of space itself. It's divided into stages of Roy's mission, each one taking him further away from Earth and deeper into his own psyche. The journey begins on Earth, moves to the Moon, then Mars, and finally Neptune. Along the way, he encounters both danger and revelation. On the Moon, he faces a thrilling and chaotic rover chase that underscores the fragility of human control. Even on celestial bodies we've conquered. On Mars, he begins to unravel emotionally, realizing that finding his father may not bring closure but more questions. And when he finally reaches Neptune, the emotional confrontation between father and son becomes the centerpiece of the story. Collision of two generations driven by the same need to find meaning beyond the stars. What makes Ad Astra stand out is its tone. It's a quiet, meditative film that uses the emptiness of space as a reflection of inner isolation. The visuals are stunning, filled with wide shots of planets, spacecraft, and cosmic light that contrast beautifully with the stillness of human emotion. Each frame feels meticulously crafted, evoking a sense of realism that makes you feel both awe and insignificance. The director uses silence and sound sparingly, letting the mechanical hums and faint radio transmissions serve as reminders of how far Roy has traveled from humanity. The loneliness of his mission is almost tangible. It's less about what he finds out there and more about what he learns within himself. Brad Pitt's internal narration gives the film a deeply personal voice. Through his thoughts, the audience experiences the duality of his journey, his professional calmness versus his emotional disconnection. His reflections on duty, love, and regret resonate with anyone who's ever struggled between ambition and personal connection. The story subtly critiques the human drive to explore at all costs, suggesting that our relentless pursuit of discovery can sometimes lead us further away from what truly matters. Roy's ultimate realization that connection, not conquest, defines our humanity is what gives Ad Astra its emotional gravity. Visually, the movie pushes the boundaries of what space cinema can look like. The cinematography captures the harsh beauty of space with extraordinary precision. Every shot feels deliberate, Whether it's the serene surface of Mars tinted in red dust or the eerie stillness of Neptune's orbit bathed in icy blue, the color palette evolves with the story, moving from the warm tones of Earth to the cold, sterile hues of the outer planets, mirroring Roy's descent into emotional detachment. The use of lighting and shadows enhances the isolation and fragility of human existence, against the infinite backdrop of the cosmos. The production design and visual effects were grounded in scientific plausibility while maintaining artistic freedom. The spacecraft interiors feel functional and believable, not overly futuristic. This commitment to realism makes every scene more immersive. You can sense the weight of the suits, the tightness of confined spaces, and the silence of endless vacuum pressing in from all sides. These details make Roy's journey feel less like fantasy and more like an extension of humanity's current reach into the stars. It's a film that doesn't rely on spectacle but on immersion, the quiet moments of tension as much as the bursts of danger. The emotional core of Ad Astra culminates in its final act where Roy finds his father near Neptune. Clifford McBride, long presumed dead, is alive but consumed by his mission, unable to accept that humanity might truly be alone in the universe. Their reunion is powerful yet heartbreaking. Clifford's refusal to return to Earth and his acceptance of isolation reveal the consequences of obsession. Roy, on the other hand, finally breaks through his emotional walls, realizing that his father's search for meaning led him away from the very thing he sought: connection. In letting go of his father, Roy symbolically releases his own emotional burdens, finally understanding that life's meaning isn't found in the stars, but in the bonds we create with others. The conclusion is both haunting and hopeful. Roy returns to Earth changed not as a man who conquered space, but as one who rediscovered his own humanity. The simplicity of the ending contrasts with the vastness of the journey, leaving audiences with a sense of reflection rather than resolution. It invites viewers to ponder their own pursuits, their relationships, and the cost of isolation in an age obsessed with achievement. The trailer for Ad Astra captured the movie's grand scope and emotional intensity, featuring glimpses of its breathtaking visuals and Brad Pitt's introspective narration. It built anticipation by highlighting the mystery of Roy's mission and the emotional tension surrounding his father's disappearance. The visuals of planets, explosions, and space travel promised an epic experience, while the quiet tone hinted at something deeper than just action, a story about the human spirit. Upon its release, Ad Astra received praise for its ambition and visual storytelling. Many viewers were drawn to its meditative pace and emotional depth, while others were surprised by its philosophical tone, expecting more traditional space adventure thrills. Still, the movie stood out for its willingness to focus on introspection over spectacle. It challenged audiences to think about isolation, legacy, and the price of obsession in a world and a universe where human presence feels fleeting. Brad Pitt's performance became one of the defining elements of the film's success. His portrayal of quiet resilience and buried emotion added a layer of authenticity that grounded the story's more abstract ideas. Critics and audiences alike noted how much emotion he could convey with minimal dialogue, relying instead on subtle facial expressions and tone. His performance anchored the movie's grand visuals with human vulnerability, making Ad Astra not just a space film but a personal journey of rediscovery. Over time, Ad Astra has come to be appreciated as one of the more contemplative space films of its decade. It belongs in the same conversation as other introspective sci-fi stories that explore human nature through cosmic metaphors. Its blend of realism and poetry, of adventure and reflection, gives it a timeless quality. The movie invites viewers to look beyond the spectacle of space travel and ask what drives us to explore curiosity, loneliness, or the search for meaning in an indifferent universe. The legacy of Ad Astra lies in its balance between visual grandeur and emotional intimacy. It reminds us that, even in the endless darkness of space, the greatest discoveries are not about new worlds but about ourselves. The stars may call us to explore, but it is human connection that gives our journeys meaning. Roy McBride's voyage to the edge of the solar system becomes a metaphor for the emotional distances we travel in our own lives seeking love, understanding, and forgiveness across the vast silence that often separates us. Ultimately, Ad Astra is a film about coming home not just physically, but emotionally. It takes the idea of space exploration and turns it inward, showing that no matter how far we travel, the true challenge is confronting what we carry within. Through breathtaking visuals, powerful performances, and a story that fuses science fiction with deep philosophical reflection, the movie leaves a lasting impression.